Cost of Living Act came into effect in the late stages of 2022, and that has two main areas that impacts when you are renting your property. So I'm going to cover the first one here just now. So that would be the restrictions on how you can increase your rent, and that can depend on the type of tenancy that you have. So if your tenants moved in after the 1st of December 2017, they'll be on what is called a private residential tenancy. And with that, there is a cap on the amount that you can increase the rent by. So at present, that cap is 3%, and that was from the 1st of April 2023, and that remains in place until the 30th of September 2023. And there is provision in the legislation that that is reviewed every 6 months. So we would expect to hear probably around August, September time if that cap is going to change. The other thing is that tenancies can only be increase the rent once every 12 months. So, and that's the date that it comes into effect. So tenants are required 3 months notice plus 2 days for receipt of service for the increase, and it can only come into effect once in a 12-month period. Landlords do have the option where they have had an increase in prescribed property costs to increase by 6%. So I'm going to do another video on that just to explain that, because it is a little bit more complex, and I'll just give sort of the positives and the risks involved with that as well separately. So if you do want information on that, just let your property manager know and we'll be able to send that over for you. But back to the 3% cap. So as I said, that's for private residential tenancies. So if your tenancy started on the 1st of December 2017 or after, the 3% cap applies. That is not restricted when it comes to a change of tenancy. So if your tenants give notice, you can relet to a reasonable market rent. So your property manager would at that time notify you that your tenants have given notice and give you a proposal. So that would be a new rent and available date. So they'll look at comparables on the market, condition of the property, and they'll give you recommendations on that. Also, you might find that, especially for joint tenancies where one or more tenants may want to look to move out, we do what's called a tenancy swap in that instance, but there's no obligation for you as a landlord to accept that, but there are positives around that. Mainly that you can increase the rent because you're negotiating a new tenancy, and give the tenants the option to go ahead with the swap, and new rent would come into effect when the new people move in, or they can decide as a group that they're all going to move out and you relet at a higher rent, or they continue on as it is and you would input a 3% rent increase. So with this, we will be proactive as possible. We do regularly send out information and industry updates on our monthly rental statements. So you'll find if you want to request a rent increase, we send out forms for that. Otherwise, we will aim to notify you when it is coming up to a suitable time to increase the rent and give you the proposal. That would bear in mind any cap that's in place at that time. And it's just a case of filling out the form to confirm, and we will arrange to have that issued for you. But in the interim, you can always email your property manager to request, and they can have a look to see when the last one was done or when it would be due and put that in place for you. Thanks.